All right, welcome everybody. We're going to start AutoCAD and we're also going to show you how to save a file after you're done creating a drawing. So what I've got going on here is this is my desktop using Citrix. So I'm currently at home. I've logged onto Citrix and I'm basically accessing all the school files along with all the software. If you're using your laptop or computer at home and you haven't installed Citrix, that's perfectly fine. If you downloaded AutoCAD on your own computer, you can still do this the very same way. Basically, if you use Citrix or you've downloaded AutoCAD on your own, you're going to go down to the bottom left-hand corner to the Start window. You're going to left-click once. And you're going to find, if this is on Citrix, underneath all the Adobe stuff, there's a couple of blank folders. And even at home, you're going to look for the folder that says AutoCAD 2020 English. You're going to left click once and you're going to find AutoCAD 2020 English again, big letter A as the icon, and you're going to left click. And what that's going to do is that's going to open up AutoCAD and install everything for the first time. It might take a little bit. There we go. And this is the very first thing that you should see. So you've got some sample floor plans. We've got our switch icon button here, the switch button. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to left click on this bar that says templates and it has a little drop down arrow. So I'm going to left click that. And I'm going to go to the acad.dwt template file and open that. And that basically opens up our drawing. Now, I don't have anything drawn in here, obviously, so I'm just going to do a quick drawing. I'm going to go down by the UCS, which is this X and Y, and I'm going to draw, I'll put a rectangle around here, or a square of some sorts, and maybe a line. There we go, hit escape out of that. Now, I don't have to center this. I don't have to worry about anything as long as I'm this close to the UCS and I haven't really played with my mouse, the zooming in and out. I don't have to worry about too much. Basically now, how do I, let's say this is my completed drawing. How do I go to plot this or print this? Well, you're going to go to either layout 1 or layout 2. Right now, it doesn't really matter because they're both the same. This is what layout 1 looks like. This is what layout 2 looks like. Both pretty much the same. I'm going to go to layout 1. And for just by chance, if you don't see your drawing inside, all right, I'm going to do something here. And so let's say that this is similar to what you're seeing. You don't see your drawing. Maybe your drawing is too big. Maybe it's too small. Maybe it's over to the left or right, and we don't really know. What I'm going to do is I'm going to double left click inside the grid. 1, 2, and you should see the outer boundary there turn to like a bold black. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to type the letter Z and hit enter. And then I'm going to hit the letter E as in elbow and hit enter. And what that'll do is that'll bring our drawing into the frame and into the boundary. All right, so next thing that I want to do is I want to take a look down in the bottom right hand status bar here, and we've got a number, and this number might be a little bit different for everybody. Right now I'm showing 1.228 something something something, basically close to full size, 1:1. So I'm going to click on this number, left click, and this is my viewport scale. We should always be scaling our drawings, right? So you might be at a 1:2 scale or half scale, and that will scale it down. Then I'm going to click on that number again, maybe quarter scale, depending again how big you drew this. I'm going to go to 1:1, and that looks good. What I will say, never scale to fit. Okay, that's a rarity. Everything should always be to scale. There are some exceptions, but you should never use scale to fit. Always use some sort of numerical scale. All right, so figure out what works best. So I'm going to leave this at 1:1. And while I'm in here, this is called floating model space, by the way, and there's another video that talks about that. I'm going to turn off the grid just because the grid bothers me. The grid will not print out, but it's just a visual distraction for me personally, so I like to turn that off. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to left click in the gray space, double left click, 1, 2, and that'll unbold that boundary window. And I'm going to left click once on that boundary, which is actually the viewport. And I'm going to left click on this little grip and drag it just before that dotted line. And that dotted line represents your printing boundary. So depending on the printer that you've got attached to your computer, if you have one set up like that, it might show you something a little bit different. So now that I've got this kind of maxed out, I'm going to hit escape on the keyboard, and I'm ready to get this printed. So basically, to go to print, I'm going to go up to the printer icon or the plot icon. I'm going to left click once, and we'll get a little notice about batch plotting. Nope, I just want a single plot, so I'm going to click on continue to plot a single sheet on the bottom, and you get our plot setup. So a couple of things here. If you don't see this portion on the right hand side, there is a little caret. So if this is your original pop-up window, click on the caret on the bottom right, and that'll expand that. And what we want from here is the plot style table set from none to monochrome. And that's going to change everything to a nice black and white crisp image. And I'm going to change now the plotter, right? This is the second area down here. I'm going to change the plotter to AutoCAD PDF General Documentation.pc3. So the general documentation version, I think, is what will work out best for us. And the paper size is an ANSI full bleed A, 8.5 by 11. All right, so 8.5 by 11 is A size paper. It's a regular sheet of paper. And always get in the habit of doing this because it does help. I'm going to click on preview. All right, so previewing before you actually plot will help alleviate some stress. And I can see here that even though we've maxed out to the border in layout 1, we've got very close margins on the left and on the bottom, and a little bit larger margins on the right and on the top. So that's not going to work. So I'm going to go back up to the top here to this little bar, and I'm going to hit the circle with an X. There we are. And I'm going to play with the offset. So I'm going to left click and drag on all of these zeros to highlight them. And I'm going to type in, I'm just going to guess at 0.25. And I'm going to do same thing on the Y. Highlight that and 0.25. And I'm going to preview this again. All right, so this looks much, much better. I've got my boundaries centralized. The drawing looks centered, so that's good. All right, so now I'm going to I can hit X there, just so that you get used to this. So I previewed my drawing. Everything looks good. And now I'm going to hit OK. And when I hit OK, it's now looking for a place that I can save my drawing to on my computer. Okay, so if you are working from your laptop at home and you've downloaded AutoCAD, then what you probably want to do is you want to go up here, the save in bar up top, and you're going to look for your C drive, or maybe there's a D drive, and you're going to create a folder and save all of your work in that folder on the C drive. If you're using Citrix and you're using the school system, then the school system has a home area, okay? And what you should see if you're using Citrix is your name and the H drive. And the H drive is your C drive if you are at home, all right? So if you're at home downloading AutoCAD, use the C drive to save your files. If you're using the school system, using Citrix, then save everything to the H drive. So I'm going to go to the H drive. And I'm going to find my classes folder. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to create a new folder. So up top, I'm going to hit this little folder with a plus sign. And I'm going to call this CAD 100 underscore 2020. And left click to kind of secure that. And I'm going to double left click inside of that folder. And I'm going to highlight down here where it says file name, and I'm going to say save to PDF test, and hit save. Great. So now I've saved this to a PDF document. It shows me my PDF, so this is what it looks like. Everything looks good, and I can X out of this. And if I wanted to see that particular file, I'm going down here to my Explorer just to double check, make sure that everything is where it is. I'm going to click on my home, and I'm going to click on my classes, and there's my CAD 100 folder, double click there, and there's my drawing, save to PDF test. I can click on that, double left click to open, and you should get Acrobat Reader or some sort of Adobe Reader product that is already installed on your computer. You might get sign in if you're using Citrix. You can use your school ID, school email address, and or user ID and password to log in, and you'll have all the Adobe products kind of working for you. And that's just going to open up this PDF document. So I know that it's saved. I just opened up my saved document. At this point, I would go into Blackboard, go into the assignments, and upload this particular drawing file to Blackboard for grading. And that's how you open up AutoCAD and save to PDF.